Whew. Good morning, guys. Welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. I appreciate you guys for being here, rocking with us. Hey, Mama Corey, thank you for being here. Listen, make sure you share. Sharing is caring. I promise you, like we're late, a little late, but we're not late. We just we just get into a little bit of silliness, foolery, and sometimes the depth of the conversation I don't want to be live with. But we're gonna have a great conversation. We're talking this, it's Mental Health Wednesday, MHW. Yes, get that acronym sucked in because when you see it, then MHW, Mental Health Wednesday. With our resident therapist, Mr. Matt Genius, aka Stay Blessed, aka the genius with the skills. So appreciate you guys again for being here. Hey, Lisa, thank you for rocking with us always. Again, we're gonna have a great conversation. We're talking about opening up, finding the right help, therapist wise, or even counseling, or having conversation with others. Good morning, Aunt Sam. Good morning. All right, so I need you to, you know what I need you to do? Share. Sharing is caring. Go to your messenger, copy, go to your messenger, hit everybody, spam everybody. You are allowed to spam everybody and tell them that the brothers are on. Make sure you post it to your page and everywhere else. Text them. Make sure you text them and send the link so they can come hang out with us and have a great conversation as we roll into this new year. We're talking resolutions. No. No. We're just talking about mental health and the changes that need to be made for yourself to be better. Can even give me the thumbs down. All right, so let me stop yapping and let's go ahead and kick this off. Without further ado, we'll be right back. Stand up.
Boom.
Here we go. Good morning.
Yes.
What I'm talking about.
Yes. Yeah. No New Year's resolution, Kadeem.
Man. We talked about that yesterday, man.
I'll give
you a little context before we can jump into it, Matt. So we was on the how we was before the show started. So we was talking about it, and he had the topic. New year, new me or not.
They jumped at
me. So me and Brian was like, "You mean a resolution?" No. I mean new year, new me or no. I say, Brian. He just don't want to say the word. He really mean new year resolution or no. That's what he means. Remember, we're not talking about no resolution. And my girl Lisa was like, I don't want to talk about no resolution. I was like, word up, Lisa. So we had feedback from the audience that said, we don't want to talk about no resolution.
Wow.
Yeah, so it wasn't just us. Okay. It was the audience also.
You know what? I see how you spent that right there. Like,
see that?
New year, new me or not?
No, I'm just saying. Listen. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. Don't we do have resolutions? Like I had to sit and really think about it. We make resolutions. We just don't make them declarative like we used to. This year, I'm gonna do something because everybody is declaring to do something different this year.
Matt. Do you hear how he said we?
Let's not go into the next year.
You see how he said that, right?
That inclusive language.
Just say I.
I'm glad I wasn't there yesterday, man. I'm happy I wasn't a part of that conversation yesterday. All those who are watching, man, Happy New Year. Glad to be back. Good to see you guys. Blessings. Stay blessed. For those, good to see you again. All those who are in TV land, internet land, Facebook, YouTube.
All over.
TikTok, wherever you are.
Do it for the ground.
Do it for the gram. All right.
My son wants to say good. He's here.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there
Hey,
you go.
good
Oh,
morning.
okay. All right.
Come on, little man.
Got a little company with me this morning.
Yeah.
Serious face.
All good.
Yeah, he's like, he wants to start commenting too. I'm like, nah, not yet.
Give me a second.
For the people.
Yeah.
Right. He got resolutions.
Oh, there you go.
Anyway,
See?
This
Why you putting that on the man
2023
like that?
is his year. This is his
Yeah,
year.
why you putting that on the man like that? The man might not. He might be trying to get hard food, and you over here trying to keep him on Similac.
Yeah, man. He's trying to
Good
walk.
morning,
You
Philip.
see, he's gonna walk this year.
He's gonna walk. See, he said this year I'm gonna
Take a
walk.
couple steps, you know.
I want to run too. I see y'all running. I see how y'all do. I'm
Right?
gonna get down with that. All right.
All
So
right.
today
Enough
we're
of
talking about
foolishness.
we're talking about how to open up and finding the right help. And specifically, of course, we got Matt Genius, a licensed therapist in the building, and we're going to be discussing just kind of like some how-tos on what we can do, because we was chatting yesterday and I was just asking him about when getting a therapist, who does the responsibility kind of lie on for the right sessions? Was it the therapist or is it me with opening up? And he was like, both, because he was like, finding the right therapist that can relate or connect with you and give you the proper help, as well as you willing to open up and and just put it all out there, put everything out there, so the therapist can kind of put together like, okay, this correlates. I don't know where this comes from. You need to dig a little deeper,
Right.
just to have those conversations to help you to make sure that you get the help that you need, or the reason why I'm here.
Right.
So I'm not wasting my time. I'm not wasting the therapist's time, and we are moving forward. As much as I feel like the therapist would want to just get paid, he wants progress as well. Because it's just you killing me, killing my vibe.
Right.
You're coming in here.
Yeah.
And we're not moving
You
forward.
should desire change, on both sides. For us therapists, we can't be invested in change more than the client.
Right.
So
Right.
even before the client gets to us, what we hope that is happening behind the scenes is that you're doing the preparation work for change.
Wow.
What does that mean? That means that you have to come in ready to start working. You can't come in and expect the work to start once you show up. The work has already been started. Once you've made the decision that I'm going somewhere for mental and emotional support, you have to be that prepared environment to receive what they have to give you.
Right.
You show up there with resistance, then you already have a block on change happening in your life in those areas. Meaning, if I know I'm going to therapy, I have to start making sure that I am malleable, meaning I am like at least, moldable in ways that I may have been rigid before.
Okay.
Meaning I have to be ready to have certain conversations,
Right.
be ready to have certain understanding challenged. I have to be ready to be more vulnerable. And so that's my work. I have to start thinking about, man, what do I need? What do I need in my mind space? What I need my mind to be ready to have a specific conversation,
So is it like, so I'm like, I feel like I need therapy. I feel like I need a therapist. Right?
That's step one. I feel like I need therapy.
Do I need to know what I want to be fixed? Like I want to be able to have a peace of mind. I want to be able to sleep at night. Like I feel like, should I have kind of not really have the solution, because I wouldn't need a therapist if I had the solution, but just know what I want changed.
That's good. Yeah. I mean, I think most of us have the solution already. Therapists,
Okay.
the ones that are effective just help pull it out of you,
Okay.
But what you're saying is that should you have a list of things that you want to work on?
Right.
Yes, that definitely helps us. It gives us a jumping point into where we can kind of guide the direction of therapy. If you know that these things are the issue, then it would also be well to know how you'd like those issues to be resolved. And also how it would look like. What would it look like to have those issues resolved? That's a good question that I usually ask. Like, let's say if you weren't depressed anymore, sir, what would your life look like? What would your day-to-day look like
Right.
That's different from your state of mind, your state of emotion, your state of interactions right now, you know.
Right.
And so you kind of giving me a blueprint now to lead you towards that specific outcome based on you already having a knowledge of what you would like that life to be like,
Right.
feel like, look like, smell like, taste like, everything, you know, because the more descriptions you have, the easier it is for us to now create something from mental to actual physical. You know, we're helping, all we're doing is help guiding you to that destination, but it's good for you to come with as much information as possible, being open to have those hard conversations, you know, or be open to, you know, to be challenged, because, you know, some of the things that are understood aren't necessarily all the things that we need to understand. So sometimes you have to be open enough to be like, okay, maybe my perspective may have been skewed by these experiences, by trauma, by current emotional scars, by a lot of things. So it's just making sure that we are in that good space, you know. So it definitely starts before you even make that call.
Gotcha. What's up, Ephraim? Good morning.
What's going on, fellas?
Blessings, man. Stay blessed.
What's going on, my brother?
All good in the hood, man.
So what would be, so from a client perspective, or someone that's needing a therapy, are there signs of good therapists, bad therapists, or how would you like, how do you know you're in a good space? I mean,
that's
I know
a good question. Yeah. So, you know, not all therapists with degrees are good therapists now. You have to do your research, you know, you really got to do your research, meaning read their reviews. If they don't have reviews, then, you know, that may be a sign that they're just getting started out. So read the reviews, man. People are honest. You know, people are, I think, sometimes too honest, sometimes about what they feel, you know. But read the reviews. Also go and read their descriptions of themselves online. See what area they specialize in. See how long they've been doing it, you know, and then just, you know, really get a sense for them. You could even make the phone call before, you know, see if you can get them on the phone for a 5-minute, 10-minute conversation. And trust your instincts, trust your intuition. You know, believe it when your instinct is telling you you should give this person a try, you know, or I don't think this person's for you, you know, believe it and then move forward. And it's not a knock to say that the first 1 or 2 people may not work. That doesn't mean give up. That means keep trying. You know, if this is something that you really desire for change, then keep knocking on those doors until you find that person that will be a good fit for you. And that person's out there. I definitely believe that person's out there. You just have to be able to put in that work, make the phone call. And then if you feel like that person's for you and they don't respond the first time, be well, I called once. I left a message.
You ain't coming back.
They ain't called back. You know, I'm a therapist, man. And sometimes I don't get back to some phone calls, sometimes for weeks, based on what's going on, you know, based on what's going on. So, and I hope people understand that. It's just sometimes one person running the shows. It's just me and another therapist in South Florida. And so sometimes we do get backed up and we do miss calls and things do fall between the crack. But if it's really your desire to find a person that really vibrates with you, matches with your energy, keep shooting that shot. You know, for those who know about, you know, when you guys were bachelors, first time the girl told you no, if you gave up, that's on you, bro. You know, that's on you. You gotta catch her during the holidays or something, man. You know, we should be careful.
So
you know,
let's see.
I'm not going to speak on that.
He said, I just did a story about MAID Canada. He said medical assistance in death. It used to be for the terminally ill. Well, then now just passed legislation to extend it to the mentally ill. That's interesting. He said, really honest. He asked the question, do you have a preference between a psychiatrist versus a psychologist?
Those are two different things. Those are two different professions, you know. So sometimes we do get it twisted. Go ahead.
No.
Break it down for him. Because let them know. Let them know you know.
One of them is, you know, it's kind of gives you a medical prescription of some type of medication to ease or subside what you're going through, and the other one is more just generally, I guess you could have conversationalists.
Right. So most mental health professionals with an advanced degree, meaning a master's or a PhD, most, if not all of them, can do therapy, meaning they can do talk therapy. If they get licensed, they can do it. However, not all of them specialize in those areas where that's where they practice. A psychologist is usually the PhD level psychology person who studies psychology that is able to do more research, more in the research area of psychology. The psychiatrist, of course, can do talk therapy as well, but they're more towards prescribing and diagnosing, as far as the heavier psychiatric issues, deeper mental illnesses and stuff like that. And so they still can do talk therapy, but they don't necessarily do the same thing. A psychologist doesn't prescribe medication. A psychiatrist prescribes medication. A mental health.
My mama had a psychiatrist. That's how
a nurse practitioner, prescribe medication. A doctor can prescribe medication. MD can prescribe medication, but psychologists, myself, which is a licensed marriage and family therapist, we don't prescribe medication. Clinical social workers don't prescribe medication. Mental health counselors don't prescribe medication. Professional counselors don't prescribe medication as well.
Right. It's more the holistic.
Right. We're more aligned with talk therapy, and even those differ in slightly different ways, meaning we all do talk therapy, but the school of thought, meaning how we approach the problem, may be slightly different.
Gotcha. Good morning, Pastor.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
What's going on there, good sir?
It's another day, another opportunity, man. That's what we're doing.
Yes, indeed.
We're doing the conversation.
Yes, indeed. If you guys had any questions, just feel free to jump in. He said, I see so many New York who game. Oh, wow. He said, I see so many psychologists in New York who game the system. Interesting.
Listen, man, sometimes people think that because, this is a helping profession, there ain't no scammers. Scammers are in every profession, so, I can't say yay or nay to that, man. I've been a part of certain systems that I'm like, I can't work here too long because this going to be on my record. So let me hurry on up, get what I need as far as experiences and get out of here.
Right.
Because, not everyone seems to be aligned with their ethics, as far as helping people. This is a business of helping people, but business is first sometimes, and people really utilize the system to profit instead of actually having a true desire to see people well. And so you just have to make sure, like I said, trust your intuition, trust, I used to tell people when I used to do presentations at churches and schools, I say, pray for a good therapist, pray that God will send you the right therapist, pray, and then once that prayer is answered, I'm sure that right person will come your way. And then you will start seeing changes based on your efforts and theirs.
Indeed.
So many people make it without therapy. I know you suggest it for everybody, but would you put it as critical? Does everybody need therapy?
I wouldn't do that. I would never do that to say everybody needs therapy. What I'd say is that everyone can benefit from therapy. Okay. I would say that, but it's not for everybody. Some people have their own ways of finding, resolutions with their problems. And some people do well, but some people, they go their entire lives suppressing, masking, medicating, and learning how to cope within whatever makes sense for them. Now the underlying question is your quality of life where it needs to be? Are you truly happy? Are you truly safe within your body? Are you truly safe within your mind? Are your relationships being expressed the way you would like for them to be expressed and so forth? And if the answer is yes, then by all means continue. I know for me, I'm not for everybody as a therapist. Some people come to me and they love me. Other people come to me and be like, Matt, I don't like how you approach things. And I'm like, that's okay too, because I know that my approach is specifically for those who vibrate and resonate with me as a clinician and as a person, as a man, as a father. So therapy can definitely be beneficial for a lot of people, but is it for everyone? Does everyone have to go? I don't think so.
That's good. But I guess it's that they call it therapy. I call it robbery. so when it comes to
Chris sounds like the person who had a bad experience with a girlfriend and now he's mad at all women.
Right. And listen, man. Therapy isn't that profession to where it's an exact science,
right?
And so people have gone to therapy and have had experiences where it's like, man, I'll never go back. Which
Right,
I understand.
right,
But
right.
listen, you go to McDonald's and get your order mixed up almost 9 out of 10 times, but you still go back. Man, I keep telling them no pickles. They keep putting pickles on my sandwich.
You keep going
But
back.
you go back, you go back, you go back, you go back, you go back. You give other things
Can I
a
ask a
chance.
question, Matt? What is your favorite meal?
My favorite meal. This is a really good question. My favorite meal, I think, is beef ribs. Beef ribs.
Beef ribs. Who
Beef
makes
ribs.
the best beef ribs for your palate?
Tony Roma's.
Tony Roma's.
Shout out to
Okay.
Tony.
So you're saying that when you eat Tony Roma's beef ribs, it's an experience.
It's definitely an experience.
Okay. See, that sounds therapeutic to your body, to your taste buds.
Oh yeah.
You see where I'm going? Like I get in the yard planting flowers,
Uh-huh.
therapeutic. Everybody needs some kind of therapy, but not everybody has to go to a therapist.
Right.
There are levels to this. And so the question of does everybody need therapy? Yeah, you do. Everybody has to deal with something that's therapeutic. It makes you feel better about
Right.
your day, about yourself. So we all need some type of therapy to remain whole, but not everybody needs to go see a person to have that conversation, a professional therapist. So I want to make sure that people understand the
No, we
difference.
don't.
Because somebody will walk away and say, you're right, everybody don't need therapy. Wait a minute. Everybody doesn't need a therapist. But something
Matt,
has to provide therapy.
who's been easier to let me make up a word, therapize?
Hold on, we got a pause on that.
Men or women?
Therapize.
Hold on,
That
hold
works, that
on.
works.
Time out now.
Therapize.
You can't
There
get
it is.
that word out there.
Now,
We gonna let
Jesse,
it
you know
slide.
that's
Brother
what
Lex,
I
we
heard.
make it
I
work.
could, I'm a scholar, man. Yeah, man. It's gonna be in there. Men or women?
Oh man. Who has been the most receptive to therapy? That's what we'll say.
Oh, okay.
Right? We'll
Yeah.
say that. We'll say that, right? Oh man, look, when it comes to the battle of the sexes and this emotional thing, it's always in favor for the women. You know, women are more prepared to have these conversations. You know, they come in and they have an idea of where they are mentally, emotionally. They come in, they usually have a space as far as the direction they want to go. The men is usually a little bit more difficult, but that's my area, though. I understand why us men, we have resistance towards being more open and vulnerable. First of all, I don't know you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Why are you asking me all these questions, by the way? You know what I'm saying? Right? So that resistance is automatically there because, you know, we're programmed to see a person on the other side of us, specifically another male, as competition. You know, so usually when a male walks in my office, it's usually the same routine. You know, they size me up, they look me up and down, like, let me, you know, give me that look, and I welcome it because I understand that that's their way of breaking their discomfort and getting into a space of comfort. You know, they have to see and feel my energy to make sure that I am a person that they can trust and be vulnerable and become open with. So if that's necessary, then by all means, you know. And I think it's okay for us to go through those steps until we don't have to anymore. I don't mind giving the first session to the grilling, you know what I'm saying? But where you from though? You know, but what high school you went to, you know? Like, who's your favorite rapper? You know what I'm saying? Who you really like, you know?
Yeah.
You know,
So it's more to break down with the men, but the women kind of ready.
Yeah.
Do women stay in therapy longer though?
Oh man, you know what? I couldn't say, man. After this, after 14 years, man, I can't really say. I would say that most of us need to stay longer than we actually stay. Because I think sometimes when we start to feel some semblance of health,
Right,
which is good, you start to feel some semblance of health because you have started a routine. You know, you started a routine. You haven't actually mastered the routine or allowed the routine to become, you know, like a part of your personality. And then you kind of like, okay, I think I'm good. I think my relationship's fine. We stop arguing, you know, and so I think we're good. And so you move on sometimes too quick before you've gotten enough tools to maintain and then elevate from the point of where you started.
gotcha. So I'm gonna say something. It's controversial. Not what you think, Kaneem. Sorry, inside
Please.
jokes.
Please do.
Oh, I feel like even just to say at some point, I think everybody needs a therapist. I think
Everybody
that's how I
needs
feel.
therapists.
Just to really,
I beg to differ, man.
I figured that, but I think everyone has something they've not released, something that's holding them that they've not discussed or talked about, that can open up their world. And we always look at success as people that either earn a lot of money or do certain things. But I feel like there's a level of freedom that comes with, just like we go to a doctor for our body. I think we need someone in a mental health space, as a check-in. So
No, man.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that. I would say to this, I think everybody needs that confidant, that person that they could speak freely with and without boundaries.
No, I get you.
I would say that. But as far as me needing a therapist, I've been to several. Like I said, I've tried a bunch of them.
Right.
But,
I have as well.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess I wanted it because in that point in my time in my life, I didn't have that confidant. I didn't have that person I could share my thoughts with and get feedback and have information that I thought was sound coming back at me.
Right.
So if I was, and so that's probably why I went to a therapist, because the information that I was giving the folks, trying to see if they would give me back good information, it sounded like boo-boo. So I wanted to be like, I wanted to get information that I thought that could help my situation or give me guidance to a better situation.
Right.
So
I can't say everybody. Like, I've seen too many make it without it. So it's hard for me to say everybody needs it.
I mean, we're making it. All five of us are making it.
But also, there's no. Can anybody give me a guarantee that if I reveal this deep dark secret that I'll be healed?
No.
Okay, so
Matt,
I go to the doctor.
I get a guarantee,
and I got cancer, and I know I go to the doctor and I've been sick, been throwing up, some discoloration, all that. Hey doc, something on the inside ain't working, man. Would you check that out for me? I found what it is. It's cancer. You're gonna die in 2 days. You feel me? So he found what it is. We know what's going on. It's now been released to the world, and I still have no help, right? So I can't say it's everybody needs it if there's no guarantee that it's gonna be fixed.
No, I mean, like, bro, like what I say, when I got on dialysis and when I found out I had cancer, my head was shook. But you know what got me through it? It was other folks who was going through the same thing I was. It was those group sessions that I would go in there and spill my guts and get their information. And they was like, oh, okay. Well, this is what I had. But these were survivors also, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have got out of what I'm already getting. I'm just not getting into. So yeah. I was getting that information that made, like, there is the other side of this. This is not the end of everything. So, but these weren't therapists. These were just other people who had experiences that I had who came out the other side on a positive note.
Because you knew exactly what it was, though, right? You knew exactly what was going on. Like you was in a situation, someone next to you was in the same situation that had gotten out, so they can kind of guide you as far as thought process. I know what you're feeling, brother. I know what you need to look or you need to see. However it transpired.
Yeah, but that wasn't a therapist.
Same thing now. I got a homeboy right now who just got on dialysis 2 months ago.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm giving him my outlook. Like, hey man, when you go in there, they're gonna have all these tubes. You're gonna have these ports in your chest. Yeah, when you get ready to take a shower, you're gonna have to wrap yourself up in plastic because you can't get it wet. When you go to dialysis, they might take too much fluid off. You're gonna start cramping. The worst cramp you can get is your stomach because you can't rub it out. When you do, it's certain stuff that he wasn't aware of, but I gave him information to calm his mind down because he was wondering, like, what do I do, man? How is this gonna be? Blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not a therapist.
No, I got you because you're in. Hold on, before you throw your hands up, you in that
That's it.
exact space. Hold on, you in that exact space, being able to share an experience, right? Outside of you and your experience, who else can share that? Your doctor, your nurse, someone
They-
who's trained, and no, hear me out. And they know only reason that you can share because you guys are in the same space, right? Many of us go through things that Pastor and I can share some similarities, but there's a depth that sometimes that I feel. Like I said, I probably
Listen,
go alone.
I got to interrupt
Please
just for a
do.
second because, first of all, no one wants to hear what they need. You know, once you start to say what people need, they're like, man, you can't tell me what I need, what I don't need. You know, and so
Right.
from my profession, we can't tell people what they need, man.
Right,
That's
no
not.
doubt.
We can't start off like that. What I would say is, I'll go back to that language we said earlier. Everyone may benefit
Right.
from, right, but not everybody need. You know, I can't say what you need. You
No doubt.
have to have that belief that this is going to work
That's
for
better.
you.
That's better language. Benefit
You know,
from.
if you don't believe this is going to benefit you, then please, by all means, don't come.
Right.
Because if you come without that belief that I can actually assist, if you
Right.
come looking for reasons why this is not going to work, it's not going to work. Because you're gonna see you. I knew it, Matt. I knew
Yeah.
it. As
Come
soon
back
as
next
you
week.
open
Yeah, I knew it was gonna be a waste of time before I
You know,
even made this
Man,
appointment.
we 4 sessions in.
Right,
My life
right.
has not changed.
right. So
Yeah,
sometimes people look for the reasons why it's not going to work.
100%. I think
they'll
benefit.
find it. They'll find
That's
it. So
better.
everyone can definitely benefit from it.
Everyone can
And
benefit
so, but you have to be ready for those benefits to be able to, latch on.
Right.
You have to. There are different people who believe change happened in their lives at different times. So, what is your perception of change, and how does change work in your life? If you don't understand how change worked for you, then you may not even be ready for the change to start or to even begin that process of change when it comes to your mental and emotional state. I like to prepare people by educating them about what mental health is first.
Right. That's good.
And because sometimes we're like, man, my mental health is fine, but what is your mental health? Sometimes people don't. Sometimes we're not aware, of what's happening in our minds and in our, emotional states. And so without that awareness, you can't even call out what it is that's actually impacting you. And so by creating awareness, then we can create more conversations about what's not aligned with your optimal health.
Right.
And then you can start saying, you know what, I didn't even know I needed this change. I didn't even know that my mind desired these new ideas of healing or coping. I didn't know my heart needed a space where I could actually heal and learn how to forgive in an effective way. So sometimes it's an educational conversation. By the way, man, look, I know we did that chat with the guys last year, and we need to have more of those, because those are those opportunities that presents people with opportunities to become educated on, their health, and to be able to identify signs and symptoms to say, you know what, I'm not healthy. Maybe I should go seek, this professional to get the assistance that I need to get better.
Yeah, I still think I need to see one, because how I feel about my old man. Even though he did, I'm still pissed off at him, and he ain't here for me to yell at him no more. And I'm mad at the memory of him, so I know I need to see somebody.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, that's stuff we need to get out, and I think sometimes it's not to say that you can't get it out without being in the presence of a therapist, but who doesn't need a little assistance sometimes, really getting and digging deeper to point out those areas where we may have a blind spot. I know I have blind spots where, certain mental and emotional states are just not seen to me based on how I was raised or based on some of the things that I was exposed to. I just can't see it that way. And so it helps for me to gain another perspective by sharing my understanding and seeing if there are other understandings that could be more beneficial to my optimal health, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and so forth.
He said, I feel you can even feel the same way about my stepmom. Wow. That's good, Jeff. Thanks for sharing that. Wow. That's good. That's good. But so need is, you're right, is strong, but I think benefit from is big, to definitely help in certain situations or just life in general. Because there's there's always those blind spots, those blockages. Like, why do I struggle with maintaining friendships? Why do I struggle with just a simple thing? I'm trying to connect with my children. I feel like it's just hard. Like, what is it that I'm dealing with? What's going on in my head that I can't get over? What is it that's keeping me from really having genuine, and it's mostly like relationships, genuine relationships, or even maybe keeping a job. Like, man, I don't know, I'm on a job 6 months, I'm ready to go. it's just I can't, I gotta get another job. When I'm someplace too long, I just gotta go. I just can't be here too long.
Yeah, that sounds like fair commitment to me.
Right.
I might have that then because I quit every job I ever had. I ain't never got fired. I always quit. Oh, you better get it. Let me quit first.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah, I'm a hang in there. It's falling apart. Wait, no. It's not gonna close. I'm staying. I'm not going nowhere. I'll overcommit. Like, no, I'm staying. I am staying. But they said something.
No.
They didn't mean it.
These companies ain't loyal, man.
That's what I was about to say, man. You way too loyal, bro.
Yeah, I just walked off many jobs, man. I'm talking about with both fingers in the air.
Telling everybody they number one.
Yeah, and then what was so crazy about it, I really needed the money, but I'm throwing both fingers up, walking to the bus stop. You feel what I'm talking about?
Right.
I'm like, I can't even go to the car. I'm going to the bus.
It's funny looking back, but we dead serious at the time, though.
You can't fire me.
Yeah.
That is funny. Oh,
is it time yet?
No, man. No, it's not. We're 9:41 right now. No, it's not time.
I'm
trying to start some trouble.
Time for what?
He don't want me to throw it out. I'm gonna respect that man platform. He know I won't throw it out there though.
Let me not even ask that.
Let me ask y'all this.
A lot.
Hold on, and we can kind of pivot a little bit. So I was looking at I make sure I'm saying his name right. Damar Hamlin. Am I correct?
Yes.
Damar Hamlin. Looking at his name.
Yes.
And I didn't. And it's funny. I didn't really process the fact that they didn't just like delay a game, because that's generally what happens: injury, delay, and then they keep rolling. That's
time out because of injury. Yeah.
And so this situation, they just postponed the whole game. I was like, man, that's big. You don't just stop it in
this time of year.
Yeah.
Now y'all remember the last time they did that?
No. I don't.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh, Frazier. Not Frazier. The linebacker number 50. He broke his spine.
Yeah,
but they delayed the game, but I think they still played.
They delayed the game. Yeah, you talking about? Oh, you mean ended the game, Kenny?
I'm talking, yeah.
Oh,
that
delayed. Was it? That was a long time ago, right? Somebody died on the field.
I can't remember that.
No.
I'll never see nobody die. I don't know.
Nobody ever died.
Yeah, there's one instance where somebody died on the field, but that's a long before any of us was. Well, we were born, but.
Now remember, now you telling your age. You older now. Don't think we in your age bracket. Ain't nobody over there got no nickel in front of their number. You know what I'm saying? Just you.
But I bring that up and I think about, like, was it a moral conscious decision? Like, man, I don't want to just continue on like we don't care.
No,
or was it
but just to give you context, AD, that was 9/11. That was the last time they postponed the NFL. It was 9/11.
Oh,
go ahead.
Yeah, 89. I think what you're talking on the moral decision and just to the NFL's point of view, they cannot win in this situation. I don't care when they play the game; it's going to seem insensitive. So I don't envy them. They can't win. But as far as the players, and as a former athlete, it's extremely hard. You need all your focus. You know what I'm saying? Right. I got coaches that would let you skip class that day so you can be focused on the game. Like, you need all your focus in sports. And that's just to perform well, let alone the safety pieces that come. You be up at the plate with a 99 fastball coming at your head, thinking about what your girlfriend told you. If you want to, you'll get blinded, knocked out. So you need all your focus to be into a sport. And I think with seeing something like that, if they, I mean, I probably with the clap for them. I don't know how you can play after, I mean, like right after something like that.
How could we
you know
just
what I mean?
not think about it? Right.
Yeah. So as a player, you got it's sports and people don't give sports any credit. It's so mental. You know, you get that rep of the dumb jock. If you saw an NFL playbook, I mean, your mind would just explode. So you have to really be concentrated. And I just don't, from the player standpoint, now the league, they run the business, but from the player standpoint, I don't know how you can play and keep and literally we have a term, keep your head in the game. How? You know what I'm saying? We don't know his status. We don't know if he's dead or alive.
Right. I'll put it like this, man. If he passed away before this weekend, they not gonna play no games. If he's still surviving, if he's still in critical condition, they probably play games or they'll push it back like they did at 9/11. When they pushed it back, they was playing games on Tuesdays, Wednesdays. They got them games in.
I forgot all about that, man.
I did too. Yeah. Things that stopped.
But I think what happened what happened when DeMar went down, they had to look at those players' faces. Because remember, they were on the field. And they got the call. Somebody from up top said, "This is not a good look. Get those players off the field." All that transpired because remember, they were on the field, and there was a moment where Stephon Diggs was trying to pump his players up, his teammates up, because they would get ready to go back on the field. You could see him from the tears to let's go. We got to get it done. We got to get back because initially they were trying to get the players back on the field. They were going to pause for 5 minutes. And what ended up happening is after Stephon Diggs tried to do the encouragement rah-rah thing, then players went right back over to the bench, sat down, couldn't even think straight. They went right back to the same emotional state that they were in. And somebody said, we can't do this. Someone had to look at them and say, get them off the field. When they got them in the locker room, you saw the video, the coaches talking to each other. There's no way you can tell me those coaches weren't saying, these guys ain't going back out there on that field. I don't care.
But think about this, though. The coaches was crying.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If the players hit the field, I'm on the sideline. The coaches was crying.
But there were two things that worked. It was what the players and the teams wanted to do, and the NFL, which like I say, we can discuss it if you want, but like they cannot win. There's no. They already got the perception that this is slavery and a business, and they drive. I mean, which it's a business, but like they just can't win in this situation. And they wanted them off the field because it's a bad look for their product.
One player actually said this in an interview. He said what was really nice, the fact that we didn't have to go back out there, they didn't encourage us to go back out there and play on the field. He said what was really nice, what really felt good is ending that game made us feel human. That's what he said. He said the NFL made us feel like we were more than just football players. That we were human. Players said that. And for him to say that, it tells you how they feel playing the game.
100%. I mean, I bring it up more or less because we're talking about mental health and the benefits of therapy, and like you said, Ephraim, sports, and we've all had a level of sports. We know it's mental, as well as physical, but it's a mental game. I've unfortunately, the way I operate, I've let people trash talk me out of my game. It's a head game. Like if your head is not in it, or you can't push through, then you lose, and it's a struggle. So that's why I always, and I'm glad Matt kind of cleaned it up, because I was saying need, but there's a benefit, in having someone to get you back into that mental health, to how you feel. What is it that's really holding you? What is it about the situation that you can't let go? Let's work on that so that we can get you right. And my prayers, at least, it's NFL. I'm sure they got therapists, psychologists, everybody, mental health professionals on staff ready, for situations to just like physical, like you get hurt, injured, let's rub you out, let's get you back out there, let's get your head back in the game so that you could be whole enough, to operate.
Big time.
So I just bring that up, just how a game, like everybody's focused on winning. What is this? And this like the beginning of this ain't the playoffs, but this is like
there's playoff indications. Yeah, that's why.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you're at the one of the heightened spaces outside of Super Bowl that you're in, and this situation happens. Now it's like you questioning everything. Like the word, is this worth it? And if I was an older player, I'm looking like, babe, what we got? Can we get out? Are we in a space that I can just chuck this? Because I don't want that to happen to me. And if I had a son, I promise, I think after this, I'll pull him out, man. I'll pull him out of sports, and it's kind of the same pattern I feel with school. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of it's been set as the traditional path, and like some of the fun has been removed out of it. Like the camps they have for these kids now, and I ain't talking about young adults, high school freshmen. I went to a camp, they had the freshmen and senior, but everybody else was like, at least 14 or 15, like they got camps for 6 and 7 year olds now. Like I'm like, come on, let bro have a little fun, because everybody's not gonna make it to that level, and even the ones who make it to that level ain't gonna make. That's right.
You're not super rich just because you got in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? You do a good 3 years in the league, you did great. But it's a violent sport. There's a lot of mental into it, but I think you're on point, AD. Like it brought out, like Pastor said, they brought out a very human moment. You know what I mean? It
was never fun.
It was for me, Mom. I think my mom was my softball coach as
we about winning.
Yeah.
we don't.
I think, here's the challenge with young people in sports. It's the grown-ups trying to live vicariously through the young people. That's what makes it so ugly an experience, or it can be an ugly experience when you have people trying to relive their lives. But the other part of it, I heard you say, I pull my son out, but if that's what he really wants to do, that has to require conversation, communication, openness, because to pull him here, how does he fill that void? How do you tell your son what he's going to have fun at? Those are the things that we have to think about, because there are repercussions to all of those decisions that we make, even for our children. I don't want you to get hurt. I understand, but people have gotten divorced. Are you never going to get married because somebody in your family got a divorce?
It's not quite the same, but I get what you're saying.
It's not. But the thing is, when you're talking to a child, you're developing a pattern of behavior. Right. We don't look down the line at that type of conversation.
Looking down the line, is there any benefit to that?
Any benefit to what?
Like, could this also be a positive reinforcement in his mind?
Absolutely.
My dad said me something terribly bad.
You got to really expand that conversation and make sure, first of all, you understand how the young people feel about it. We have to protect our children. That's an absolute fact. But what I've learned is some of the protections that I put in place for my child weren't handled properly.
I can receive that.
Okay. Okay. Matt, let me ask you a question. When it comes to sports and children, there could be some that will push through, that want to win and do things, like what's the check-in? Like, could there be too much, because you look at your children, like, is it you being lazy? Like you just don't want to, or is it like, it's just really ain't what you want to do, or, because in our minds is like, is it because it's getting hard? Because you're like, gotta push through. It might be hard. You gotta push through, and you don't want your children just to be able to flake every time it gets a little tough. But at the same time, we're all aware that, you might be at a point that this just isn't your thing.
Right. I think as parents, a part of our responsibility is making sure that we provide as many opportunities for our kids to thrive. You know, and
Right,
sports is
right.
one of those things that allow them to expand themselves mentally, socially, emotionally, physically. You just have to know what your kids' capacities are, and even what your capacities are. What makes sense for you in the future that you desire for your kid,
Right.
your kids. You know, I think sports could be a great benefit for those for a period of time, and for those who have the talent and the capacity to go all the way. By all means, if that's their desire, that's their desire, go forth. For me, I stopped watching and participate. I mean, I still play sports, you know, but I stopped watching sports a long time ago, and I felt kind of embarrassed a little bit. I'm like, bro, I don't know what these guys are talking about. You know, I had
Don't
to
worry.
go.
Just hang with me, brother. Just hang with me.
I had to go Google it. It's not that I didn't watch football. I used to watch
Right.
football all the time. I used to
Don't
be a
worry.
Bills fan, and Pastor and I had this conversation. Thanks to the Cowboys is part of the reason why I'm not a sports fan right now. So, but the deeper part of it for me was separating because of the emotional weight that it has on a lot of us. You know, like sometimes people leave from Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, and they can't get up the next morning because it's so emotionally heavy for them. And
Wow.
Yeah.
for me, as a husband, as a father, as a business owner, I needed to have more clarity going into the week than coming from a 12 o'clock game, trying to stay up and watch my team
Right.
get spanked by the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So for me,
Could you say that one more time? It just
nah,
it's therapeutic.
it's okay.
One
You
time is
know.
good. You're good.
So
We
for
heard
me, for me, the investment isn't worth it. You know, so I
Yeah.
don't watch it. You know, for those who do, good for you, but I don't watch. I think it wasn't doing well for my mental and emotional state. Losing and the investment of emotion that it takes to actually manage being a fan and manage,
Right.
trying to know all these things. That's too much information, man. If you take
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
information bank in most men, as far as what they know about sports, if you take that data, bandwidth that's in there,
Right.
man, you
Yeah.
can do a lot with that. So I think once I removed myself from that, I saw my capacity in other areas go up.
Yeah, there's an emotional piece that goes with it. Like I mean, I like how you put it. It's kind of, but it's embedded. You know, it's gonna be on every Thanksgiving. We're gonna watch somebody. I think I done watched LeBron for like the last 8 Christmases
Right.
play. So
Right.
there's an emotional investment, and it has ruined my day. You know what I mean? Like a loss. And I have had great days, and I still
Yeah.
don't know why the Heat didn't send me a ring when we won. You know,
Right.
like I'm that invested. And I thought that
You
like
was there
my
every day.
team
Right.
was losing because I wasn't watching the game. Almost as
Right.
if they
That's
could hear me through the TV.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like it's like, and I know it sounds funny, but I'm dead serious. Like it's that
Yes.
tied
Yes.
to like, you know what I'm saying, to the sport, and it does take a lot. But like that's the biggest takeaway from me this week because I've never seen anything like this. I'm glad Kaneen brought it up. I forgot all about 9/11, but like it did make it really human. You know what I'm saying? And it made it really like, you know, made you think about what you put into what you do. You know what I'm saying? And even if it's a job or, you know, there's, football is not the only dangerous job that people have. You know, you got ice road truckers and coal miners. You know, you got some people that really put their life on the line, trying to feed their family. And it's just kind of to think that it can be gone like that. It made it bigger than sports.
Yeah, that's good. Jeff said something great. He said, exact example I went through Boy Scouts was my son. Years later, we both confessed we both didn't like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We both disliked it. And you think
if I could go back, I definitely wouldn't play football in college. That messed my whole
Really?
head up. It didn't. Yeah, I was pledging and couldn't walk on grass at the time, and then that made it even worse. And then high school, I wrestled. I played baseball. I wrestled, and I played football. I would have dropped everything and just wrestled. You know what I mean? I saw way more in there. But and Matt, no, I mean we from Florida.
Right.
There's a high expectation and a high a vibe for sports, and it's all you do. You know, we got sunlight all year round, so that's what we do. But I mean, I'm 5'8". You know what I'm saying? What's the chances? You know what I'm saying? That I'm making it to the league.
You gotta have super skills at that height.
You gotta have super skills and crazy numbers, and I didn't have that. So, you know,
that's good.
and maybe my family thought like, well, he enjoyed it too much. Don't tell him. You know what I'm saying? But my last football game, I played Florida Atlantic, and at Florida Atlantic, and my whole family came out. I got in one play. I was hurt,
Wow.
I was hurt. And they all shouted my name from the stands, and I'm just looking like that's more embarrassing. You know what I'm saying?
They were shouting your name from the stands, bro. They shouted your name, or did they shout Rudy?
My name and my T's
I got you.
husband or whatever.
Hold on.
This man united the whole family, bro.
You got to mute Pastor, man.
He united the whole family to say my name in bro. It was crazy. I had her. She divorced him. He don't come around no more. His name is Fred. Fred is out the family, bro. Like, it was a horrible moment. You know what I'm saying?
I was trying to help out, man.
No, Fred, bro. You see what it did, Fred. You see these boys playing me over here, man. And it was a tough game. I went to school in Jacksonville, but I'm FAU. We from the bottom, so I played there at the bottom. So it was tough, man, and it messed with my head a lot. And
hey, man,
and for that to be the last
I got a free
game
session available for you, bro. Holla at me,
man. Yeah, man. It's crazy, bro. And it messed with me a lot. So it really had me. And of course, I made friendships and emotions, and I mean, back then I was in shape. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's all kind of benefits from it. But like, I'm telling you, if I could turn back hand time, bump all that. You know what I'm saying? I wasted 2 years in college I wasted, but I put 2 years in.
Right.
And then that messed with other stuff. So
what we do.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh man, Pastor. Rudy.
I mean, this man was pouring his heart out.
I know.
You feel me?
Matt, we appreciate you for being
that's
here,
part
man.
of the reason why people don't go to therapy, man.
Right there. I go get therapized. That's just what they're gonna say. Right there.
Therapized. There we go.
I gotta go, fellas, man. Stay blessed.
All right, man. Have a good
bro.
one.
See you next week, man.
All right.
Thank you. So
sad.
Y'all take it easy.
yes, sir. All right. So we're gonna get out of here. We appreciate you guys.
He gonna cry when he get in the car.
He's so wrong.
Yeah, you dead wrong for that one, brother. You dead wrong for that one.
Told Joy, appreciate you, mama. So, you gotta do something with your son. Do something.
Hey, I had to change the mood, man.
They picking me up and passing me. So, NFL play. Yeah, we talked about it, Rich. His name is Damar Hamlin. So
Jeff's so short he can't ride the rides at the fair.
That's cold.
I'm gonna have to put you in timeout for the day, sir.
Hey, I'm only 5'8", man.
All right, so listen, guys, we appreciate you guys for being here. Another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. Hopefully, you got something out of this. It was a great conversation. I loved it. We dig into therapy and opening up. We look forward to seeing Matt next week. And again, Happy New Year. I don't know what's the rule about how long you're supposed to say Happy New Year, but I guess whoever you see that you haven't seen since last year, is that the rule? So it's like, even if it's in June, hey, if I didn't say it, Happy New Year. Yeah, 5'9". Oh, Richard's
5'9".
Oh. Love you too, Mama Corey.
Love you too, Mom.
Make sure you continuously share. And so, Kadeem, what do you want to talk about?
Oh man, it's too late now. I needed some feedback, but maybe I'll bring it up next week. Friday if I can remember. I ain't gonna worry about it.
It was with me. Is that wonder why the guys and my daddy was with me? So silly. All right, so we look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. 988. You or someone you love is having a mental health crisis. 988. Real talk. Get somebody urgently on the phone. Don't do it alone. If you're struggling, if you have someone you can call out to, life gives its ups and downs. If you're going through something, and we always joke about, but phone a friend, talk to somebody. Real talk. Talk to somebody. Sometimes I just need you on the phone. I'm a vent. You ain't got to say nothing. I just got to get it out. I just need someone right here because I'm in a bad headspace. And suicide is probably the biggest of things that you can do, but there are levels of stuff, of bad decisions that could happen between that, so man, I'm about to go do, I'm about to react this way. So if you're feeling that, and a lot of times it happens in relationships, going through with your lady, and it's something you feel like, call somebody, let them talk you down. Like, because in the end, it's not worth it. All right.
Well, and think about this though, AD, because he said something. He said, playing the sport, your head has to be in the game.
Right.
And whether you playing a sport, a high-end sport, or can someone talk to Jeremy Renner? You could be running your snowplow trying to push snow out of the way and your head not be in the game. Jeremy Renner's in critical condition right now because of snowplow. How does a snowplow run over you when you have to be driving it?
Right. Wow.
What were you doing? And people don't know this story. Jeremy Renner, Hawk, whatever.
Oh, that I didn't know what happened to. Okay, so that.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, the snowplow, and he lost a lot of blood. He's in a bad state.
Right.
And the question is, how does it run over your leg, and you have to drive it? Somebody has to be driving it.
Right.
So it doesn't matter what you're doing. You could be an Uber driver and your head not be in the game, 100%. And something go wrong and it changes the course. You could be in the kitchen cooking. That's why it's important to have somebody have an outlet to be able to talk, because sometimes we're carrying weight and we don't even realize why things are so heavy because we haven't talked about it. I had no idea that's what was bothering me.
Right.
And that's the danger of not having someone to talk to, having an outlet.
Definitely. All right, guys. So appreciate you. Look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Same time, same channel. Continuously share. Tell someone that you haven't spoke to in a while that you love them. And listen, make sure you share. Make sure you share the broadcast. I'm trying to do some things here, guys. So thank you for supporting all those that have been come through every single day and hang out with us. All right. So see you guys tomorrow. Know that we love you. Jesus loves you more. Continue to stay safe, make good choices, and peace out.